Hey everyone, I'm Clayfect, and to my Clayfuls, hi guys! Happy Valentine's Day to you all. On this day, what could be more fitting than diving right into the world of the unseen creatures by Richard Barlow, where I just found the most perfect little fella for you, the lovebug. Here on this channel, we celebrate all kinds of love as long as it's consensual. So of course I think that this was just the perfect little creature for Valentine's Day. Feel free to pause and look at the pages some more if you want to. But for me, I just can't wait to get started on this little fella. So without further ado, let's do that.
He took 100 pounds of clay, and then he said, hey listen, I'm gonna fix this world today, because I know what's missing.
Now before we get started on the actual lovebug, and hear Mr. Barlow's observations about this unseen creature, I probably need to explain what I'm doing at this point. And that is making a lot of questionable decisions. Not with this ladybug look-alike shell that the lovebug had on its back. That part went well. But when it came to making the lovebug's eyes, it could have gone better. First, I made some clay eyes that were so big, so I actually ended up using them as filler for the thighs of the creature. So wisely enough, I switched them out to my beloved cabochons that I'm used to working with. Unwisely, I decided to play around with paint and resin in hope of getting a cool effect. But as some of you might have guessed, resin and a hot oven doesn't mix well together. So please just ignore the eyes for now, because we're going to paint over them anyway. Instead, let's begin sculpting our little lovebug while we hear something from the Mystery Journal.
Richard Barlow, log, the 24th of April, 1932. The lovebug. I did fully intend to make this journey a purely scientific explanation of my observations of the unseen creatures. But at last I have come to realize that there are some of these creatures where I have to describe personal aspects of my life for people to fully comprehend the nature of these creatures. And such is the case with this unseen creature, the lovebug. I have to admit it, I am in love. Her name is Mary. I met her the last time my parents had me committed. She is a nursing student and is as brilliant as she is beautiful. And I think she fancies me too, though that could just be a delusion on my part, since it's one of the symptoms the lovebug's bite create. Not bigger than a ladybug or snowflake, this creature is remarkably difficult to detect. And yet, it is one of the few unseen creatures where it seems that we humans have somewhat awareness of its existence. Judging by the familiar saying, bitten by the lovebug thrives living on us humans, be it on our clothes or on our shoulders, where they love to bask in the sun. They camouflage themselves as a ladybug or a snowflake depending on the season. During winter, the fluff on their bellies grow until the ladybug is completely covered, making them a convincing snowflake.
So that is how he met Mary. It is more refreshing, however, to meet a Mr. Barlow that is younger and more in love. Speaking of love, I actually talked with my dear husband Mr. Clayfect about the phenomenon of falling in love. And there I actually discovered something very interesting. You see, Mr. Clayfect loves falling in love. He told me that it's one of the best times of his life when he fell in love with me. But for me, when I fell in love with Mr. Clayfect, it's sort of a different story. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love love. But falling in love? Yeah, I'm not such a big fan. For me, it's just a mix of always missing the other person, when you're not with the person, always thinking of the person, and when you're actually together with the person, there is just too much sweat, too much nervousness, too many words that are not said. I'm not a fan, I have to say. It is way too distracting for me. I mean, I could not eat, I could not sleep. All I could think about was my lovely husband. And I have to admit, I have no idea on how I was so lucky to get him, but thankfully I did. And I'm just so grateful to be over that in love phase and have moved along to the pure love and companionship phase that I have with my husband. But that's enough about my happy ever after. So let's move back to finishing up the lovebug and hear some more from Mr. Barlow.
Normally, the lovebug works in pairs, one on each human. If a lovebug works alone, it will always end in heartbreak. Their bite causes the human's oxytocin level to elevate, making it very hard to think clearly. For example, I find myself waiting for over 2 hours just so I could walk Mary home. I was not right sure when she got off work, or if she even wanted my company. So I picked her some flowers, even though I had no idea why and how the flowers were going to make me waiting for her less awkward. Regardless, she seemed happy to see me, and we talked the whole way home. Before I realized I got bitten by a lovebug, I thought it might just be a valentine's room being near me, but they should be out of season. And the butterflies in my stomach made it very clear that I was dealing with a lovebug. The lovebug eats the stomach butterflies we breathe out and drink the nervous sweat we produce when we are near that special someone. If a lovebug is not well fed, it will leave. But if it is consent, it will reach the next stage of its life cycle.
Well, if that is the case, then my lovebug must have been really overweight. And what is it he mentioned about another life stage? I haven't seen anything like that in the book. It's confusing, but if I can, I will not look at the book. That's also why I made the eyes wrong to start with, because I sort of get queasy and dizzy the more I look at it. It's very weird. But anyway, let's move back to our little lovebug and get started on some paint now that I finally fixed the eyes. Where I put some base colors down before I get started on the detail work. Now, as you saw in the intro, there is no colors in the mystery journal. So the painting job is actually pretty much my interpretation on how I think the lovebug would look. However, Mr. Barlow does mention that the lovebug camouflages as a ladybug, so that is the color scheme I'm going with. Another weird thing about the mystery journal is it's sort of like the colors pop into my head. It was not like that in the start, but over time, when I've made all these creatures, it is sort of like I just know what color it should be. And I think it comes from the book. There's something really weird going on with that book. It definitely needs some more investigation. But for now, let's try. I'm really trying, guys, here to focus on a little lovebug. I have to say, I think this is one of the cutest sculptures I have ever made. And I have made some pretty cute ones. But I guess that is sort of fitting since the theme here is love. And this video is coming out on Valentine's Day. But while I'm finishing up our little friend here and put some resin on, why don't we hear the last from the mystery journal?
There is no doubt that the lovebug can make us feel wonderful and awful, sometimes all at the same time. Erratic and ecstatic behaviors are normal side effects of the lovebug's bite. A young lovebug does tend to be a little overeager, making it bite more than it needs to, and therefore usually give the courtship a tragic end. That is why it is rare for us humans to have our first love also to be our last. We do not only need the human to be on the same page, but we also need our lovebug pair to work together and navigate us through the journey a relationship is, making a good, strong relationship even more magical in my opinion. For obvious reasons, this little bug must stay an unseen and unknown creature. The misuse of this creature could be catastrophic. I personally don't care if it is because of the lovebug bite I fell in love with Mary. It was not in my plans to ever fall in love. But what can I say? I adore her more than life itself. And one day, I'm gonna marry that girl.
Oh, isn't Mr. Barlow just a sweetheart? But with that, I actually think, guys, that is it for this sculpture and it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you like my little love bug. I have to say, I am in love with it. Get it? Love. Anyway, what I mean to say is, even though it's not a complicated sculpture, I think he turned out super great. And I can wait to sculpt more from this mystery journal. It's really... Wait. Are those stuck together? What is this? It's very weird. The love lizard? Apparently the next stage of the lovebug's life cycle. I guess I have to make that one too then. But if you can wait until next week, why not click on the square to the right, where you're going to see another little cute unseen creature get made. However, until then, as we would say here in Denmark, hold da munter.